Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking about some recommendations I have for Shudder, so stick around and we'll get to it. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, Shudder is a horror channel. They have horror movies, horror TV shows, they have like horror documentaries, just like a bunch of fun stuff. So I was just, this is just a list of some of the fun stuff that I found on Shudder. I'm sure there's more than, what I'm going to tell you today, but these are just like some of my favorites. Some of my favorites that are on Shudder and some of my favorites just in general. So the first one I'm going to talk about is The Dark and the Wicked. And this movie really surprised me because I went in I just saw the cover and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna watch this. I was like laying in bed and it was like raining and stuff. So I was like, oh, I'm just watch this. The cover looks cool. Which the cover is amazing. Like if you look it up, if you look it up and see it, it's amazing. And so this movie is about a brother and sister, and they go home to their family farm, and their dad is really sick. So he's like bedridden. He can't move. He doesn't really talk, like he's super sick. And his mom is, needing help, and she is once they get there, they're kind of noticing that she's like really withdrawn, acting like really strange. She's not really acting like their mom how she normally acts. And so it just goes from there, and it's kind of a slow burn. I say it's a slow burn, but from what I remember, there's a lot of parts that like stood out to me that I remember. But yeah, this movie was really good. It was really dark. There's definitely like some really disturbing content in this movie, so just beware of that. I guess really, I mean, if you're watching Shudder, you're kind of not into that, but you're kind of aware that that's what's going to be in these type of movies. So anyways, that's probably my top recommendation, not only for Shudder, but like just any scary movie. Is one of my top like favorite movies. I haven't watched it again since then, but I need to actually. So we're just going to move along to The Banishing, and The Banishing is like a haunted house story. It's it's a reverend and his wife and her daughter, and so they move into like this really pretty gorgeous Victorian house, and she starts to notice like some odd things going on. And this one, it's been a while since I watched, but I remember really liking it, really enjoying it. And this is like set in like the 1940s, I think, somewhere around there, 1940s, 1950s. And I felt like this one was a little more fast paced, not necessarily fast paced. This is probably more of a slow burn, but this was a really good movie, and it really surprised me because I didn't really, I don't know, I just didn't really expect it to go where it went. So this is really enjoyable, especially like I remember correctly, it's like in the fall, and it's like really fall vibes and really fun. So the next one I have, The Boy Behind the Door, and this movie I just watched the other day while I was like folding laundry, and it actually like made me like this was so good. I had been wanting to watch this. I had seen the cover on Shudder. I was like, oh, that looks like something I'd like, but like I have to find like a special time to watch it because like when my kids are here or. So anyways, I watched this and it was so good. Like this was a really good movie. It's about two young boys. They're like 11 and 12, and they end up getting kidnapped, and it's basically like their fight for survival. So this movie was really, really good. Like I said, the acting was really good. Like for these 11 and 12-year-old boys to like portray like what's going on into like just being so scared, and so it was really good. So this was definitely a top movie. And then we have Haunt, which Haunt is more just like a fun Halloween. It's not anything groundbreaking, but it is fun, and I did enjoy it. I think I watched this this past Halloween, and it's like these four or five friends. They're teenagers, and they go to an extreme haunted house, and so it just gets crazy from there. And it's like I said, it's really fun. It's perfect for Halloween. It's probably one of the ones I'll probably watch like every year just because I just remember it being a lot of fun. And then we have the Mortuary Collection, and this is definitely one of my favorite horror movies. It's actually like kind of like an anthology, but it all comes together in the end. And this is very fall vibes again. This is something I watch every year. I've had Shudder for like maybe 3 or 4 years, something like that. And I've always, yeah, something like that. And I watch this every year because it's like one of my favorites. This is like up there with Hocus Pocus. Like I'm going to watch this every single year. It's so fun. And then they also have like your normal, or not your normal, but like your like classic horror. They have Halloween, they have Creep Show, which I love the old Creep Show. The new Creep Shows, I'm really not that into. They're just okay. Like it doesn't have the same. I like the 80s vibe. Like there was one Creep Show episode. It's like a about like a statue of an Indian that comes alive, and that's really cool. I mean, it's not like, nowadays, you have like all the CGI and all the cool, ways to do, the makeup and stuff to make it look a little more realistic. But this one would just struck me really cool. I just thought it was really fun. And I like the older Creep Shows. I like those. But the newer ones, like I said, meh. So they have those. And then they also have Channel Zero, which actually is it's a show. So it has 4 seasons, and each season's different. And the show is like amazing. I remember at one point this was on like the Sci-Fi Channel, and somehow, I don't know, whatever, it ended up on Shudder. So this show was so good. The first season's definitely my favorite season. The second season is good. Like there's personal reasons I just not really feeling the second season. And then the third and the fourth season are really good. They're really like graphic and gory and body horror. So if you like body horror, that's your jam, that you're really going to like this show. The first season was more of a, not necessarily a thriller, but you're kind of trying to figure out like missing kids, things like that. And so that was really fun. I think that was like one of the first things I watched on horror or on Shudder that I really, really enjoyed. So that's like my top, like when I think I've rewatched all 4 of those seasons. But so that's definitely something that I would really recommend you check out. But yeah, I think that's it. Okay, so quick side note, I just was thinking about a few other movies that I forgot to mention. The Summer of '84, that was really a fun, like, coming of age story. They're trying to find like this serial killer who's like killing kids in their area. It's set in the '80s, so that one was really fun. It was more of a surprise to me, like I said. Like some of these, I was really kind of shocked about how good they were, because there are some movies I've watched on Shudder that were just horrendous. And then we have Cocoda, and the name is as confusing as the movie can be. The movie was really good. It's about these 2 parents, and they're kind of like trying to deal with their grief. And so it's definitely, I wouldn't even say it's necessarily a horror movie. It's scary in its own way, but I wouldn't really say it's a horror. It's almost more like a drama. So this is really sad and really depressing, but it is good. It's definitely worth the watch. It's probably not something you're going to be like, oh, pull that up, I want to watch that again. But, maybe, who knows. So, but yeah, that's just a few recommendations I have for Shudder. And, if you have any recommendations for me, please leave those in the comments. And please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.